Last week on November 30th, there was a lawsuit filed against Sig Sauer, Inc. I know there have been a lot already. I mentioned like 22 of them in a previous video. This one may be different, guys. Stick around to see why I think it's different and why you should care. Let me give you some background, some information, and some disclaimers. First, the link to the lawsuit that I'm about to talk about is in the description below. So if you're like TLDR, I just want to go read the lawsuit, that's cool. I became aware of this lawsuit through a video. Guns and Gadgets did it, and I will put a link to his video in the description as well. He talks about it pretty fully as well, but there are things that he didn't really go into that kind of caught my eye, and that's why I wanted to talk about this with you guys in my own video. Now for the disclaimers. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a legal scholar. Much like most of you guys, I can read, and that's where I'm coming at this from. And guys, this thing is substantive. I printed it all out. That's 143 pages, I think. If I look, yes, 143 pages. There's a lot going on here. Now, the size of this alone doesn't really mean anything. You can stuff as much legal jargon onto paper as you want. It doesn't mean that you have a good case, but there are some things in here that I thought were important. Before you all come crashing into the comments and say you're an idiot, you don't know what you're talking about, get educated, and send me links to videos where guys have done disassemblies and discussions about all the safety features in the Sig P320. I have been trained by Sig as a Sig P320 armorer, and I have had that certification for over 5 years now. In looking at the internals of the Sig, much like most of you guys, I, from my understanding of it, believe that that Sig will not go bang without a trigger pull. That is from my understanding of it. I'm not a mechanical engineer, and I don't have any idea what the fail case is. But like I said, from that perspective, I do believe that that Sig is safe, at least from what I can discern from being trained and playing with them. The last video that I did regarding this weapon and lawsuits got me a flood of comments about how I'm a FUD, I'm an idiot, things like that. And guys, I get it. If you want to double down and say all those things in the comments, well, you know how to do it, obviously. I don't need to educate anybody on how to insult me in the comments. It's available. If you got to do it, go ahead and do it. But those are my disclaimers, guys. I understand this platform and I am familiar with it. I have shot it. I find it to be very accurate. I find it a very easy to shoot gun, okay? I'm not saying anything bad about it from that perspective. Now let me talk about this lawsuit. The first thing about this lawsuit that I want to mention is there are 33 plaintiffs. 33 of them, guys. That is a lot. And if you go through and look at the damages they're claiming, some of them are pretty substantive. Like some of these guys heavily injured by the gun. Some of them just a discharge near them, but a lot of them there was at least some level of physical injury, if not worse. I don't think there were any deaths outlined in this, but there are some people who will probably never walk straight again, probably going to have some real disabilities for the rest of their life. And like I said, guys, there's 33 of them on this lawsuit. That is real. The second thing that I found with this lawsuit, guys, was that there are 4 instances mentioning discharges being caught on video. There are a lot of other allegations in there. I think it's basically a historical recap of every allegation ever made against the Sig P320, or at least a lot of them that the lawyers could find. But that said, it mentions 4 of them that are caught on video. Those are as follows. August 2019, Philadelphia, PA transit officer had a discharge. That was caught on video. December 2021, in Louisiana, an ICE agent had her gun go off, also caught on video. February 2022, Honesdale, PA, another officer in that city, his gun discharged. And lastly, the one that it talks about at the end, March 2022, Houston, Texas, another officer, I think, getting into or out of a car, and that was caught on video as well. Now, in addition to the 4 times that those were on video that the lawsuit alleges, there is a 5th discharge caught on video that I'm aware of, and it was another Milwaukee PD, and I've got the link to the news story that has that video in it. I'll put that in the description as well. So in addition to the 4 alleged in the lawsuit, there's a 5th that is factual, like it was caught and there is video of it. And while some of those alleged video incidents I have not seen the video of, there was for quite a while video of that Philadelphia transit officer's gun going off, and for whatever reason it doesn't seem to be on the internet anymore. I don't know if for legal reasons somebody pulled it down, but I saw it with my own 2 eyes. I wish I had captured it and saved it for future reference. Dumb me, I didn't do that at the time. It's out there. So like I said, of the 5 that are alleged or that I'm aware of, at least 2 of them I've seen the video footage with my own eyes. And I'm not saying that video tells everything. The whole adage about video never lies, I don't know, guys. But I do know that when you start getting a preponderance of evidence like this, I feel like there is something to this. A really good friend, colleague, mentor at times, and gunsmith, Joe, was talking with me really briefly about this. He said that his theory is that over time, the back of the firing pin, the lug, where it engages with the sear, through shaking, vibration, movement, slowly starts to depart the sear, and then over time, it'll just pop off. Now, I realize that that alone should not be enough to cause the gun to malfunction. There's a half-cock notch, there's a firing pin block, which is a positive block, but it seems as good a theory as any. He said that Sig's fix, or their general consensus, is to unload and then reload the gun at the beginning of every day or the beginning of your shift, thus completely resetting the engagement of the firing pin and the sear. Couldn't hurt, and it may help. So if we're back to if you're forced to carry a Sig, if you have to carry a Sig, your cheap insurance is at the beginning of your shift, you just unload and then reload, and you'll be good to go. Now you start to worry about things like bullet setback, things like that. So I would probably rotate those rounds. I wouldn't load and unload the same round over and over again. I might start marking them with a Sharpie or something like that. But like I said, cheap insurance. I'm not telling you guys what to do. I'm not telling you to flip out. Just like I said in my previous videos, I think that the odds of anything bad happening with one of these guns is really, really low. But it's not zero. It's really not zero, guys. And the more these things stack up, the more I start to believe there's still a problem. Voluntary upgrade aside, all the other things that Sig has done, I feel like this gun has still got some issues. Now, I feel like that really only applies to the Sig P320. Understand that for 9 years, I carried a Sig P226, and it was a good gun. I didn't love everything about it, but it was safe, it was accurate, it was reliable, and I think that was a good gun. At some point in the next year, I'm gonna pick up, I think, one of the Sig P365s, notably probably the X Macro, once the hype and demand dies down a little bit. I'm pretty impressed with that platform, and I don't think the 365 has anywhere near the potential or issues that the 320 has. I'm not aware of any substantive ones floating around. I know that they had some initial issues with firing pins, but they've since taken care of that issue. I think that the 365 is an excellent platform. I just don't share the same faith in the 320. Anyway, take care, stay safe, and I'll talk to you soon.
Get 'em, Jay.